Today we shall be studying about purchase consideration. Now, as the name says, purchase consideration. That means consideration for the purchase of the company. Like in case of amalgamation or absorption, or for that matter in external reconstruction, we are working for sale of one or more companies to another company. So if one company is being sold to another company, or in other words, a company is purchasing another company. So there is some consideration for the sale or purchase of the company involved. So that consideration is referred as purchase consideration. That means purchase consideration means the price payable by the purchasing company for taking over the business or specific assets and liabilities of the vendor company. So what is purchase consideration? It is the price payable. Price payable by the purchasing company to the vendor company for taking over either the complete business or a set of assets and liabilities as per their agreement. Now, amalgamation or absorption that we are working on presently, it is governed by the Rules of Companies Act. So, Accounting Standard 14 has laid down specific definition of the term purchase consideration, and we need to follow the same to the word if we are to solve purchase consideration. So, as per Accounting Standard 14, purchase consideration is the aggregate of shares, securities or payment in any form of cash or otherwise by purchasing company to, now comes the important point, to the shareholders of vendor company. So purchase consideration specifically implies the payments made by the purchasing company to the shareholders of liquidating company. In other words, it also implies that any payment made by the purchasing company to anyone else except the shareholders, shall not be a part of purchase consideration. Just go through this definition again. It is the consideration payable in any form. That means the company can pay anything. It can give equity shares, preference shares, debentures, cash. It can give anything. But the payment must be made to the shareholders of liquidating company or vendor company only. So what does it imply? It implies, number one, purchase consideration includes payments in any form by the purchasing company to the shareholders only. Right? So this is what it says, payment to the shareholders only. Payment can be made in any form, but it should be made to the shareholders. So it has another implication, that is any payment made by the purchasing company to any other person, say creditors or to debenture holders, it will not be a part of purchase consideration. So if we are given that purchasing company is to pay to the debenture holders of vendor company at 10% premium, then this payment to the debenture holders will not be included in the purchase consideration. Then what will we do about this? In order to adjust this, it is assumed that purchasing company first takes over these liabilities and then pays them in their own books. So if purchasing company is paying anything towards the liabilities of the vendor company, they can do so only after taking over those liabilities. So the payment to the shareholders only is a part of purchase consideration. Any payment made to any other liability holder is not a part of purchase consideration. So purchasing company shall have to take over the liabilities first. They will bring those liabilities in their own books and then they will pay them in any manner. It will be paid in their own books. So it is not purchase consideration. Finally, a similar point to this, payment of cost of winding up by the purchasing company. Sometimes purchasing company may decide to pay the cost of winding up of the liquidating company or vendor company. So if they pay anything towards the cost of winding up, again it will not be included in purchase consideration. Rather, purchasing company will pay it and record it in their own books. So when there is a point of cost of winding up, so sometimes purchasing company may bear a part of the cost of winding up, or they may bear total cost of winding up. So depending upon the problem, in the books of vendor company, we will record cost of winding up, only that portion which is paid by vendor company. And in the books of purchasing company, cost of winding up paid by the purchasing company. So if we are given, say, purchasing company decides to bear the cost of winding up of up to say 50,000 rupees. Now actual cost of winding up is say 60,000. It implies 50,000 will be paid by purchasing company and remaining 10,000 shall be borne by the vendor company. So vendor company will pay 10,000, they will record 10,000 as the expenditure, purchasing company will record 50,000. So they will do their own separate accounting. So nothing of this sort is to be included in the purchase consideration. It is to be received or paid to the relevant liabilities. It will not be done through purchase consideration. So while solving practical problems, since our definition of purchase consideration as per accounting standard 14, since it is approving payments, it says it is the aggregate of the payments in any form. Since it approves payments, so while solving any practical question, we need to first look for the payments. If we are given the payments made by the purchasing company to the shareholders of vendor company, then we will follow the payment approach to calculate purchase consideration. It is only when the payments are not completely given, then we will look for some other methods like net assets method or swap ratio method, etc. So what we are to remember now is purchase consideration is consideration for purchase, but it includes payments by purchasing company in any form to the shareholders of the vendor company only, right? So this is how we define purchase consideration. Now in the calculation of purchase consideration, there are 4 methods. So we will take up these methods one by one. Now consider first method of calculating purchase consideration. Number 1 is lump sum method. Now lump sum method is that a fixed sum is defined, that A Limited is taking over this B company for a sum of say 20 lakh rupees, or maybe they are taking over the company for 15 lakh rupees. So a fixed amount, a total amount is given, a lump sum is given. So a lump sum method is where the purchase consideration in total is given to us. So in a way, the amount of purchase consideration is given. So it doesn't involve any working as such. We can directly write that yes, this is purchase consideration. But within the purchase consideration, how this consideration is to be discharged, that we need to specify. So in this problem, we'll have to calculate specific amounts or number of shares or the components of the purchase consideration. So amount is fixed, it is a lump sum, but the components shall have to be defined by us. So the purchase consideration will involve just the listing of the components, that how the consideration is being paid. Like if we are given an example, like this is the company that we are reading right from the beginning when we started this chapter. This is the balance sheet of say Bhavya Limited. We are given various liabilities, capital, fixed assets, current assets. Suppose we are given after this that ABC Limited decides to take over the business of Bhavya Limited. Business means all assets, all liabilities. So if all assets and all external liabilities are taken up at an agreed value of 18,50,000. Now this is given to us. So this indicates that the purchase consideration is given to us. So it's a lump sum method. So it is given, but we need to record the mode of payment, how this will be discharged. So it is to be paid in the form of 5,000 preference shares of 100 rupees each, 8,000 equity shares of 100 rupees each at 20% premium, and balanced by cash. So in the purchase consideration, we will not be calculating the amount, but we will just be listing out the components. So purchase consideration is number 1, just write up all these as it is. 5,000 preference shares of 100 rupees each. So 5,000 preference shares of 100 rupees each. It implies 5,000 into 100 rupees. So amount is 5 lakh rupees. Second, it says 8,000 equity shares of 100 rupees each at 20% premium. That means the share of 100 rupees will be given at 20 rupees of premium. Percentage is applicable on the par value. So 20 rupees premium is here. So the value of the equity shares that this company shall be getting is 8,000 shares at the rate of 120. That means 9,60,000. And balance by cash. Now it says balance by cash. So what is the balance? Balance will be the balancing figure because we know the total amount of purchase consideration. So we will write the total amount of consideration, that is 18,50,000. So balance is cash. So cash will be written as balancing figure. So considering the total, you can calculate cash of 3,90,000. So this company is going to receive preference shares, equity shares and cash for the balance of 3,90,000. So this is how lump sum method works. To understand it better, let us take up one more example. Same question carrying over the same company's balance sheet. Now this Bhanu Limited decides to take over Bhavya Limited for a consideration of 14,50,000. Again, consideration is given. Payable in cash. Cash is given and balanced by equity shares of 10 rupees each at 1 rupee premium. So a share of 10 will now be given at 1 rupee premium. So we are to list out the consideration. So in lump sum method, it is not the calculation of consideration. It is just the listing of consideration because ultimately we are to record journal entries. So total is known to us. So we will write total at the appropriate place. Just list out the amounts. Number 1. They are to pay cash 3,50,000 and balance in the form of equity shares of 10 rupees each at 1 rupee premium. So herein we are to write number into issue price. That is how many shares at what price. So we are not given the number. We are just given shares will be given at this much value. So we need to measure that. So purchase consideration is, in total it is 14,50,000. It means that the shares amount will be 11 lakh. Right? So if 11 lakh is the amount of capital that you are getting, then how many will be the shares? How many shares will be issued to you? So just make the use of this equation. The value of shares should be equal to number into issue price. We don't know the number, but we know the issue price, 10 rupees share given at 1 rupee premium. So if issue price is 1, something multiplied by 11 is giving us 11 lakh. So this number can be determined. Take it as x. So 11x is equal to 11 lakh. So x value will be 1 lakh. So we can say 1 lakh equity shares of 10 rupees each at 1 rupee premium, that is at 11 rupees. So this is how purchase consideration is calculated under lump sum method. Thank you.